Hi there, welcome back. Let's do the usual. We're going to take a look how the indices will perform, and then how would the market look like next week. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at the Dow right now. As you can see from the chart, we are looking at a uptrend for the Dow, as we have the symptoms still intact or signs still intact. Okay, so what I have drawn was the higher low and the higher high. Now, the strong closing on Friday has actually put the Dow back on track to keep its uptrend intact. Now, the whole week, last week was that the Fed members were trying to cool the market by saying that the inflation um is still high, and then the interest rate is still going up. As many other people, analysis, YouTuber, they are trying to pour cold water into the stock market, trying to cool the stock market down. Well, the impact isn't that strong for the Dow, as you can see, it managed to close nicely on Friday. Now, if you scrutinize the candle over here, you can see that the whole week was struggling, as the Monday it opened and charged higher but closed lower. So seemingly this was a sign of more downward movement, but actually to me it's more like a test to see any follow through selling going forward. But there isn't any follow through selling on the next following day. So what happened is that no doubt the Dow slowly gradually moved lower, but still, the follow-through selling isn't that strong. Now, the good closing on Friday has managed to give some glimmer of hope, like I mentioned, as we can start to see a higher low form up. And what we are looking at next is that if the Dow can successfully retest the 34,000 level and break out from there, which the next resistance will be 34,000. 288, then we can see the uptrend continue. Now, Warren Buffett has bought in a slew of counters stocks. The most famous one is TSMC, right? And that has actually helped to build some confidence in the market, especially when the buying is still there, and his view is still bullish about the market. Okay, let's look at S&P 500. Although the Dow is strong, but the tech is still shaky because of the interest rate speech that the Fed members has put up. And we can see throughout the week, S&P 500 was struggling. First, the week Monday, so you can see some attempt to push down the market, but no follow-through selling on the next following day. And in fact, the S&P 500 went close to our target at 4,033. Then we saw some selling off where it pushes the S&P 500 back to its previous resistance turn support. Okay, resistance over here. Now it turns support with a rebound on Friday. And this is a very crucial rebound, because this rebound has to bring S&P 500 back to this 4,033 level. And we can see during the intraday, there was some selling, but buying pressure actually came back after 1:40 p.m. Okay, that's 1:40 p.m. there. And then we can see some good closing for the S&P 500. So like I say, we have 4,033 target to be hit on next week, as if it can keep its uptrend intact, we'd like to see a breakout and retest of 4,120 resistance. Nasdaq, the opening was higher on Friday, but surprisingly closed lower. So we can see some struggling over there. So as you can see throughout the whole week on the candle patterns over here, there were some struggles between the bull and the bear. First, the the bear came in to form this candle pattern. Usually people recognize this as a shooting stars, but there were no follow-through selling as the market pushed up, but still a weak candle as you see higher opening and lower closing. Then after that, we see some selling, but it's not strong. Okay, so what is follow-through selling? Usually follow-through sellings are like this, where we have long black candles, but here we see some subtle selling, and the Nasdaq, they are trying to find some ground, some or recover some loose ground. So we can have a minor resistance over here, as it recently formed last week at 11,494. Then the closing isn't that good, as we have higher opening, lower closing, another sign of weakness, but still there are still some chance for the Nasdaq to move up. So next week will be crucial for Nasdaq, because you can see here the resistance and support line is 11,218, and this level is usually crucial for the change of trend to happen. So in order to have a successful change in trend, we have this level to reference to, and it must hold. Okay, so this level must hold as a support. So therefore, next week Nasdaq is in a crucial week. And then we have 11,494 reason to be tested next week. If it can test it, then a change in trend is on the card. So all in all, next week will be a crucial week for the Nasdaq. S&P 500 also the same. We still need it to continue to move higher to keep its change of trend position intact. And then DOW is to continue its uptrend, to see whether it can continue its uptrend. Let's move to the Asian market. We have STI pretty strong. You can see STI is the best performing index over here, as it moved up to test its resistance at 3,307. As last week, you remember I mentioned that we expect this level 3,241 and 3,277 to be tested. The STI managed to move up a notch higher, where it went to the higher resistance, but the Friday closing was disappointing, as it closed below 3,277 level. And this few candles throughout the week is not exactly bullish, as you can see some long upper shadow which suggests uncertainty. And by opening higher and close lower on Friday, it actually created the weakness for the STI. So you can see the channel over here, which I've plotted since the beginning of the run. And then this is also a uptrend support line right now. So if the STI breaks below this uptrend support line, we may experience some downward movement. Okay, so it will be a week of potential change in trend, especially when this STI breaks down this this uptrend channel. Okay, I beg your pardon, shouldn't be a change in trend. It's just another way that STI may move. It can still keep its uptrend intact, because this is pretty steep uptrend. But how is it going to move? Right, it remains to be seen, because now the STI is way too strong. It's way too steep up there. So you still can form a high low at 3,241. It may go sideways if it cannot break above 3,307 and start to swing between 3,241 and 3,307. So there are many possibilities for the STI, and we're going to watch how it develops going forward. Hang Seng moved up strongly to test our resistance over here at 18,166. Unfortunately, the breakout failed. You can see that during the midweek, it actually moved up to a breakout from the resistance, but it pulled back, and we are facing some uncertainty and weakness, as well as we can see that the Friday's opening was higher than the closing, and usually this is not a very good sign. But we need a white candle like this to negate something like this. So you can see on this particular day, this is a Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday. It's a Monday, and we saw higher opening, lower closing. That is a weakness sign, but then negated by this long white. So we need another long white on the next following trading day in order to continue to move higher. So next week we have a new resistance to conquer for the Hang Seng, which is 18,421, to keep its short-term uptrend intact. All right. So what are we expecting next week? Next week will be quite crucial, especially on Wednesday, or rather Thursday. Thursday, we have a FOMC meeting minutes that would probably give us an idea how the interest rate projection will go to, or rather they will mention about it, whether it's hawkish or dovish or less hawkish, right? That will impact the market. But the good thing is that Thursday, the US market is not open because of Thanksgiving. But Friday, we have a half-day trading on US market. Singapore will announce their GDP on Friday, and that may help the market as well. Especially now, we are not really tracking the US performance. And seems like there is a duplicate. So you can see Wednesday, there's a GDP announcement as well, Q3. And then we have Thursday, Friday, we have another. So probably there will be either Wednesday or Friday, then they will announce the performance of the Singapore economy. Hong Kong on Monday has their own CPI. So that will probably also help to cushion the market if the CPI numbers is lower. And yeah, that's all that I have for this week. So good luck to everyone next week, and I will see you again.